Entire neighborhoods pulverized in seconds. Victims emerging to find their homes gone in an instant. Our entire ABC News team on the ground at this hour. Our special breaking coverage begins right now.
From ABC News, live in Times Square, Tuesday, May 21st, 2013. This is Good Morning America with Robin Roberts and George Stephanopoulos.
And Good Morning America, there you see it right there, that devastating twister, 40 minutes on the ground. It must have felt like an eternity. Cameras caught it all as it bore down on Moore, Oklahoma, leaving behind a terrifying trail of destruction.
And here is what we know right now. The official death toll is 51. The Oklahoma City Medical Examiner's Office says at least 91 may be dead, including 20 children. More than 120 people injured, and almost 10 million people could be at risk for tornadoes today.
The storms are still coming, and this is the scene at the Plaza Towers Elementary School immediately after the tornado ripped through. Entire classrooms destroyed. You can even see the chalkboards right there.
And these dramatic images immediately after, children pulled from the rubble. And incredible scenes at nearby Briarwood Elementary, where heroic teachers were able to save every child there. Watch as little Camden is reunited with his mother, Trinda Purcell. We saw that over and over again, thankfully. Sam and our entire ABC News team has been reporting all night. Let's get right to the latest. ABC anchor David Muir is tracking the desperate search for children right now. David?
Robin, good morning, and all I can say is this scene is simply stunning. As you know, we landed here in Oklahoma overnight. We drove across the state, and the power suddenly stopped. We knew we had arrived, nothing but darkness and the outline of homes destroyed. And over my shoulder, this is the picture repeated for miles upon miles. All that's left are piles of brick and wood. And just beyond those homes there, that elementary school where so many children were lost. As we now learn, they were huddled with their teachers inside their classrooms, those walls beginning to collapse when the winds reached up to 200 miles per hour. Overnight, the frantic search for survivors, the young ones at Plaza Towers Elementary School, one of two schools decimated by that 2-mile-wide twister.
It looked like it just took the gymnasium right down to the center of it there. I mean, it just tore through it like a truck just run right through the center of it.
The massive tornado touching down just as students were about to be released, their last week of school before summer vacation. Many of them hunkered down in closets and classrooms, in bathrooms, clinging to hope and to one another.
Well, I was on the ground and my ears just went beep, and I couldn't hear anything except cracking and kids screaming.
Both Briarwood Elementary and Plaza Towers Elementary would take a direct and devastating hit. Briarwood wiped to its foundation. Incredibly, every student was accounted for.
We were told to get in our tornado precaution systems, but then they moved us to the boys and girls bathroom.
But the scene playing out at Plaza Towers is much more devastating. A sole blackboard sticking out from the rubble. Police say at least 7 children have died there. At least 24 more are missing, feared trapped beneath the rubble.
And the scene over there at the school is just catastrophic. It is just, I mean, there's chaos. I've never seen anything like it before.
In the immediate aftermath of the twister, the chaos and confusion. This teacher, battered and bruised, carrying a child from the rubble. Students. And then the list, the names of the children who'd survived. And perhaps the most nerve-wracking thing a parent can endure, racing to be reunited with a child you're not certain will be there.
I'm just happy that I was able to find my son, and my family's okay.
At this checkpoint, we also found 8-year-old Josiah Parker. He escaped Briarwood Elementary unharmed, but could not find his parents.
If my mom and dad are still alive, they're probably going to take us to a hotel to our house to hear about.
But this morning, we now know that Josiah's parents did survive the storm, a glimmer of hope, even as so much has been lost here in Moore. An 8-year-old reunited with his parents, and we need more of those stories here in Moore. I can tell you, I can hear a helicopter hovering overhead. And as we were here in the overnight hours, it was hovering right over that elementary school, shining lights on the school, George, because they needed the lights for the search efforts. But they were also concerned about the noise from the helicopter, that it might drown out any possible cries from the children still inside that school. But we've learned this morning that the search and rescue has now been turned to a recovery operation here just behind us, George.
Okay, David, thanks very much. And as we've told you, this tornado was just enormous, cutting through Oklahoma City and its suburbs with monstrous force. Sam is on the scene. He was there yesterday, there again this morning. Boy, Sam, what a massive storm.
Yeah, George, we've been on the ground since Sunday here in this part of the country. And by the way, this will be the 4th day of strong, violent storms that move through the same part of the country. And yeah, there's going to be more of it today. We're watching these storms roll above us right now. We've got a little bit of rain, but there could be some hail and some gusty winds and go through all this, with the powerful storms moving through Oklahoma again today. Let's do this tornado by the numbers, though. This massive tornado that touched down here, touched down in the afternoon in Newcastle, roared all the way toward Moore, damaging on its way. It was a monster tornado. We don't have the official estimates yet, but we can only go by the eyewitness accounts that this storm was about a mile wide, terrifying as it moved toward this town, a town that had the same situation happen in 1999.
Oh my God, that thing is getting huge.
At 2:40 in the afternoon, the tornado warning was sent to the residents of Moore, Oklahoma, to take cover immediately. This is a tornado emergency.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
now it's on the ground.
That's on the ground.
Got a tornado.
16 minutes later, the estimated mile-wide tornado touches down, just as students are getting ready to be dismissed for the day.
Drop it down!
Estimated at the strength of an EF4 twister with winds of almost 200 miles an hour, it tears through the Newcastle-Moore area for a gut-wrenching 40 minutes, damaging those schools and leveling scores of homes. Some buildings later catch fire.
It is just ripping up everything in its path.
At 3:36, the tornado dissipates and the hunt for survivors begins.
House is gone.
All the way to the ground.
Her car looks like it's been run through a meat grinder.
Those devastating winds tore a 12-mile gash in the earth from Newcastle to Moore, destroying a swath of what used to be the Oklahoma City suburbs.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if people lived in that one. I honestly do not know if people lived in that.
Just moments after the twister passes, helicopters capture survivors emerging to find their homes destroyed, and rescuers working frantically, digging through debris to find others.
We were pulling house walls off of people. There were people crawling out from everywhere and anywhere. It's basically just a war zone.
Blocks and blocks of neighborhoods reduced to smoking piles of wood and brick. Cars twisted into mangled heaps. Overnight, the streets are covered in dark, wet debris as officers try to control the chaos. It's nighttime here in Moore, and there's been a steady stream of emergency vehicles coming right down, which is Southwest 4th Street. This is, by the way, right over there, if we turn the camera there, that's the Moore Medical Center that was so badly damaged in this storm. This morning, the numbers are devastating and heartbreaking. Rescue crews go door to door, making sure no one's still trapped beneath the rubble. Additional National Guard members have been deployed by Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin. This is going to be so difficult today because, as we said, there is a 4th day of these powerful storms, and folks are just trying to clean up and find out what's left here in Moore. Let's get to the boards, and we'll show you why this storm happened in the first place. The pattern that we're in right now, classic for May. And yes, we've had a quiet tornado season, but this is the pattern that delivers the big storms and the big tornadoes. All of that humid air rushing up from the Gulf, the cold air clashing against it, coming straight out of Canada, being fueled by the jet stream. And what the jet stream does is grab those storms, jump them up to incredible heights, and give room for these towering thunderstorms to develop that can carry tornadoes. Now, here's where this rolls during the day today. And catch this from Texas all the way north. We're a little concerned about that area. Dallas, Fort Worth, call it Arlington in that area, all the way to Waco, Tyler, even into Shreveport. This is an area of concern today for these powerful storms. Robin?
It's so hard to believe additional storms headed their way. Sam, thank you. We're going to go back to the stories of those heroic teachers who saved so many at Briarwood Elementary School. This is the scene just after the tornado hit. So many students and teachers walking around in shock, as you can imagine. And joining us now live are two of the first grade teachers whose training and quick thinking helped save countless lives. We say good morning to Sherry Biddle and Cindy Lowe, and we're so thankful that you're doing as well as you are this morning and thinking of everyone in that area. Sherry, can you describe for us what it was like when the tornado hit your school?
It was just unlike anything I've ever experienced, to have those children there and to be in my care and to try and do what was best for them.
And what did you do? I know you put books on their heads. The teachers were, laying your bodies right on top of theirs.
My class goes to PE, music, and art at the very end of the day, and so we had already prepared our backpacks, and they had their bear binders and homework folders in their backpacks, and so I had them take their backpacks and put them over their heads just as another safety precaution, as they were down in the corner in the center of our room, in the center of our building.
And Cindy, you were in the same building across from Sherry's room. What was it like for you when it hit your classroom?
Well, I had actually stepped out of my classroom to let a parent into the classroom because she was an assistant teacher in the school, and I actually saw the tornado coming and knew how serious it was, and was just trying to calm the children down. But yes, more of the same, just like Sherry said, getting them covered up. We practiced tornado drills and things like this, and I had to tell them this is not a drill, and we need to be safe, and just laying my body on top of as many kids as I could to help out.
And I know a wall came down and you all had to dig yourselves out. And Sherry, what was it like when everybody finally got out and you saw people especially parents, being reunited with their children?
It was just heartbreaking to see the tears of joy of how happy they were that their child was safe and that they could finally get to them. It was so hard for the parents to actually get to their children. I had a student that stayed with me until 8 p.m. last night because his parents could not get to the location there by the school that we were at. He had to just park and end up walking. Parents walked for miles just to get to their children. They were out of breath and crying, but so happy to see them and just know that they were safe.
Well, Sherry and Cindy, thank you very much for being with us this morning, and thankfully everyone in your school safe and sound. We know that's not the case everywhere. You know that as well. We're thinking of those families as well. You take care, and thank you very, very much to both of you. Be well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What
George?
a gift those teachers are.
Yeah.
All that devastation and heartbreak and more is magnified by the fact that it has happened there before. Ground zero for one of the most destructive and deadly tornadoes ever, an F5 storm that hit 14 years ago this month. ABC's Ginger Z is on the scene. And Ginger, what a horrifying coincidence.
May 3rd, 1999 is the tornado that we study in meteorology school. It is infamous. And as we came upon the debris yesterday, just 3 hours after the tornado, people were coming up to me and saying, "I can't believe it happened again."
Two storms so similar hitting the same town.
Two tornadoes!
It is an astounding, almost inconceivable twist of fate.
This was a gas station.
One the city didn't even think possible. That storm in 1999
It's in the road.
had wind speeds up to 318 miles per hour, leaving a nearly 18-mile path of damage and killing 41.
You lost your house.
Yes. In just 2 seconds, it was over and everything was just gone.
Now it's happened again.
Look at the city website. It predicted a less than 1% chance of ever being hit by a storm as strong and violent as the May 3rd storm.
You should not have to go through this 2 times in your lifetime.
Look again. This was more after the 1999 tornado.
Here, rebuilt in 2009.
This is more this morning.
We've had close calls all these years, but never anything that close.
The two tornadoes following a nearly identical path. One tornado probability study predicts that the odds of an EF4 or stronger tornado hitting a house is just 1 in 10 million. Experts say the chance of a house being hit twice 1 in 100 trillion. And yet this morning, it appears this may have happened here.
This community will recover. We will recover and clean up as soon as we possibly can.
It'll take a while to get all of the official numbers back in here as far as what this tornado did, but there is one thing you won't be able to compare: heartache. George?
Thanks, Ginger. Let's get the latest now from the governor of Oklahoma, Mary Fallin. Governor, our prayers are with all of you this morning. It's so hard to believe that the city of Moore has now been hit twice. What's the latest on the recovery and rebuilding effort?
It's a very sad day in Oklahoma. Our hearts are broken. We've lost a lot of lives in our state and certainly a lot of property, and there's a tremendous amount of damage here. It's unbelievable. It's unlike anything I've seen in my 23 years in public service, but certainly our thoughts are and our prayers are with our citizens right now. That's the most important thing is the rescue effort, recovery of those that have been injured or harmed in this terrible tragedy.
And Governor, what's the latest from the Plaza Towers Elementary School? Are rescuers still hoping to find survivors?
Well, I was there last night up until about a little bit after midnight, and we had a huge amount of firefighters and emergency personnel that were there on standby. They were on standby waiting to see if we pulled anyone out, but at that point in time, they hadn't pulled anyone. It's been since about 2:30 since I've had an update, but I haven't heard of anyone that's been rescued from that site or anyone that's been pulled from that site. The neighborhood right across the street was totally devastated. It's just a bunch of debris that's piled up at this point in time. So not only do we have the schools that we're going through, but we have the communities, the neighborhoods, the houses, a tremendous amount of businesses, major businesses that was also hit.
We know how determined and resilient you are. Moore will be back?
Will we be back? Absolutely. Oklahoma has gone through this a couple of times, and we're resilient, strong, courageous people. You know, you probably remember during the Alpha Pumura federal building that was bombed back in 1995, April 19th, which I actually was in office back then too. We went through a tremendous tragedy and loss of life at that time. Oklahoma City has rebounded. It is rebuilt. Our people are very strong, and they will make it through this, but we're going to need a lot of prayer and a lot of support to get back on our feet.
And we are giving that to you today, Governor Fallin. Thanks very much.